large areas, rural areas, we have riverine area, we have border communities where network coverage is very, very weak, and in some places even non-existent. So, and we know that all of these towers are expensive. We know that to even build and maintain them is another thing. And especially in communities where we know that some of them are, like we said, riverine areas. You can't begin to carry poles to those places. Some of these things will, sink before they even get to those villages. So I feel like satellite is the future, is what we should be talking about now. And I like that we are beginning to have this, include this in the discussion, because satellite will change the equation when it comes to connectivity for Nigeria. And I also feel like the timing is very important. Like I said, just weeks ago, Airtel announced that they have a partnership with SpaceX, and that's the company behind Starlink, and they're going to kind of enable that direct cell services, and this is what NCC is also doing. They are aligning with these efforts and this regulation with innovation, and I like it very, very well. Instead of reacting late, they were like, if you cannot, how do they say it? If you cannot beat them, you have to, join them. And the roadmap from 2025 to 2030, very good. That's a long way coming, and I won't feel like we won't even get to 2030 before we can even achieve this. Uh, I, I just feel it's very, very important, very, very important, and I like this. It's from an objective lens. I just feel like this signals innovation, and it's a big, it's an ambitious step, but I feel like it is something that is very, very achievable, and you know, if Nigeria kind of positions its satellite technology as something that is very necessary, that's something I must, mention before I stop talking. Um, we need to, it's high time we started taking all of this network and satellite technology and whatnot as something that is of necessity, not something that is a luxurious infrastructure. People that are connected have money and all of those kind of things. All of these things are core pillars of digital inclusion. They are core pillars of digital growth, and Nigeria, I believe we are moving towards that line, and I like what NCC is doing at the end of the day. It's very important.
I think that the NCC, now that the conversation is shifting towards Tesla, maybe there'll be smiles on the faces of Nigerians who have had to pay all those small
Mm.
taxes on their communication, channels. Because one thing that I must give to the NTC is innovation.
Mm.
Every now and then we see very innovative steps around communication, even though we are not there yet. I mean, even up until today, we are still struggling and lagging behind in terms of the kind of network service that we have. So it looks like this is going to be an answered prayer. It's going to be a game changer
Hopefully.
for the kind of network reception that we have. But if we are not sure that we've dotted all the I's and crossed all our T's, we need to go back to the drawing board now that's too early and not just raise our hope, because I don't want to be excited for something that will later make me sad. Uh,
And let it not be like it's because Airtel said
mm,
so.
so let us
They'll
just say
say they are
something.
just sitting down and looking.
So, but let us see how this pans out. And with that, I move to the next story about Liberia Senate yesterday passed a bill to establish the Agriculture Enterprise Development Bank of Liberia, a state-owned institution aimed at boosting financing for the agricultural sector. The bill now awaits approval by the House of Representatives and presidential assent. Lawmakers say the move targets a major gap in the economy, as agriculture receives just over 4% of total bank lending, despite employing most of the population. Senator Joseph Jala says farmers and agribusinesses struggle to access credit due to risk, lack of collateral, and weak rural banking services. If approved, the new bank will provide tailored loans and support services for farmers, working with public agencies and development partners as Liberia seeks to cut food imports and strengthen domestic production. Uh, Liberia. So I'm smiling because I think Cynthia and I, we have a mutual friend in Liberia, and I can just imagine how his face will be when he sees this kind of news. Again, innovation where in the agricultural sector. I think Liberia is one country that I like. But oftentimes when I read about Liberia and I see that they're so dependent on a lot of foreign things, for their own economy, it baffles me. Because I do not think there's any country on the African soil that lacks all it takes to survive on its own. And so a country like Liberia stands at that intersection. And it's good that they're waking up now and they're seeing how they can ensure that they are now, taking power, not power, but taking their own economy more into their hands, more than just importing and importing and importing. The other day when somebody told me that, do you know that we even almost import toothpicks into Liberia? It baffled me. And so I like that this is happening in Liberia, and the bill shouldn't just be a bill that is passed. What plans are in place to carry the young people along? Because the future of agriculture is not just on the older people or the older generation. It has to be so, in the words of our president, we'll make agriculture sexy. So it has to be in a manner where it is very appealing for the young people to join in, to tap in. Only that way can we win. The war with it's not a war, but the fight with agriculture has to be done in such a way that people are excited so much about it. So you're not just setting an enterprise to say, oh, this is a development bank, but what plans do you have in place to support young people, to give loans? There were people who got loans during the COVID-19 period, since they're suddenly crying now because they wake up I'm saying in Nigeria, they wake up today and those loans are being, taken. Those loans you're just getting series of deductions without any explanation. Somebody posted how 400,000 was deducted, and it's a loan that he got from the Nigerian government during the COVID-19. And so things like this should not repeat in Liberia. Liberia is a small country, a small dear country. But do you know that if you learn from the lessons of other sister nations, you would not repeat their mistakes? So let us look inward and see how this Bank of Industry, if they're going to provide grants, make it clear. If they're going to provide loans, make it clear. Whatever support you're going to provide, just ensure that innovation is sitting at the core and young people are carried along. So we don't want to see more young people stranded after we say we have, it's because this is just like Bank of Industry, Bank of Agriculture rather. So having this in 2025 is a game changer, and I can just imagine what happens by 2030. In the next 5 years, then a whole lot would have changed.
First of all, it's very sad anytime I hear people that feed the nation or feed nations complain about not being able to access credit, or struggle to even, not even just access, struggle to even get, even those that can even start the process cannot, at the end of the day, they will not even be given loans. Some do not even know what credit facilities are, because I remember I attended a small town hall meeting with Swafon women, that's small women farmers in Nigeria, and a lot of complaints. Some of them do not even know what credit facilities are. Some of them cannot even operate their phones. Some, if they go to the bank, it's always that rigorous process of, processes rather of come back, go, come again, try tomorrow. I was at the bank some weeks back, and a farmer entered the bank, and he did not know whether was it the loan he came to collect. I don't know if it was from the bank or from a credit facility. He was trying to just operate his phone, and he does not even know what to do. So all of these things, when I look at them, now let's go back to Liberia. Let me not digress too much, because as it is said here, agriculture employs most of Liberia's population, and it's very sad to see that it received just 4% of total bank lending. You can see the imbalance. It's very striking here, and which is not good at all. When I talk about strengthening agricultural finance, I'm looking at it from that place of not just for the I'm looking at that food security as a whole, not just agriculture per se. I'm looking at it from food security. Farmer, this is not peculiar to, like I started off, this is not peculiar to farmers in Liberia alone. We're talking about most African, across, should I say most African countries, farmers suffer a lot. So I first of all, I'll say it's good thing they are doing here in Liberia, because this proposed bank, I think it aims to provide tailored loans for people and make it easier for them and more efficient, and also support farmers and agro businesses too. And they are going to be working with government agencies. Very important, but please let bureaucracy not come in. It should be professionally managed, because when we talk about, we've seen all of these things across Africa. It's not the first time that there are so many banks, there are so many credit facilities um, 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 that are built to give loans, to give credit to farmers. So I feel like all our past problems, all our past struggles, all the lapses from the past should be carried to this time, so that we can, use it to teach ourselves caution. It's very important, because state-owned banks, I'm very scared for state-owned banks. State-owned banks, if they are not properly managed, if they are not properly and professionally managed, there will be a problem. And also, this one that we are, you know, adding, the government agencies are going to be included in it. I'm just scared that there will be no insulated political interference. Please, loans should get to the people it should get to, because I met somebody in that meeting. I met somebody who complained about, loans not being given to them farmers, and some of these, people that have that have power and status or influence around those banks will give it to, you know, their own people, like we say in Nigeria. So I just want it to be transparent, very transparent, because this is a very good initiative, having state-owned banks, so that it will be closer to the people. It can meet the people's needs directly, and government should be accountable with it. I just feel like this is very good for empowerment for farmers if it is done right, because it's not like farmers do not know what we are talking about. Moving farmers from, subsistence farming, persistence farming. I think thinking of how we are going to move them to more mechanized way of farming. And if funding doesn't come in, if proper financing doesn't come in, if all of these sectors are under funding, they will underperform as well. So I think this is very good. Only if public institutions, are accountable and transparent. But I think that's the much you can take.
That's how much we can take, and so let's look at the recap of the headlines now. We see that Nigeria and United States launch joint airstrikes against terror groups in North.
And and the federal government reshuffled NCAA directors amid corruption and safety concerns.
We see that NTC moves towards satellites to phone connectivity needs 2025 to 2030 roadmap.
And the last story we brought to you, Liberia moved to create state-owned bank for agricultural financing.
Well, that's the much we can take on the news. Let's go on this break now. We'll be back for the discussion
3.
section.
Sustainable tech and green computing. With data centers now consuming around 1 to 1.5% of the world's electricity, efficiency has become critical. Google, Microsoft, and Amazon are racing to power their data centers with renewable energy, while chip makers like NVIDIA and AMD are tech industry operates. Number 6, 6G networks and beyond. 26, early 6G pilots will give us a glimpse of the post-5G world. Space-based.
Welcome back from that short break. Today we are looking at a very critical development that sparked global attention, and it's even raising a quiet concern across diplomatic and security circles. We're talking about U.S. President Donald Trump announcing, or do you think that it risks reframing Nigeria's complex security challenges through dangerous global religious lens? This is a conversation that I'll be having with Cynthia, and there's a lot of questions that we need to answer. I don't know if we can answer all of those questions, but we must, just see what we need to see about them, because so far what we understand is that the nature of the strike, as confirmed by AFRICOM, the timing, the coordination, was done with the Nigerian authorities. So what we are getting here is that there is a collaboration with the Nigerian authorities. And I'm going to just pull this tweet out from, give me a sec. I'm going to pull this tweet out from the U.S. Africa Command. And the tweet says, at the direction of the President of the United States and the Secretary of War, and in coordination with Nigerian authorities, U.S. Command at the direction of the President of the United States and the Secretary of War, and in coordination with Nigerian authorities, U.S. Africa Command conducted strikes against ISIS terrorists in Nigeria on December 25th, 2025 in Sokoto State. So you can see that it's clear that it's a collaboration. That is from the U.S. Africa Command. However, the language of Donald Trump is different, and I want us to look at what Trump said in his tweet as well. Trump said, tonight, at my direction. Tonight, he did not say in collaboration with the Nigerian authority, in collaboration with the Nigerian president. He said, tonight, at my direction, Commander-in-Chief, the United States, launched a powerful and deadly strike against ISIS terrorist scum in northwest Nigeria, who have been targeting and viciously killing primarily innocent Christians at levels not seen for many years and even centuries. I have previously warned these terrorists that if they did not stop the slaughtering of Christians, if they did not hold the matter together and see a balance or imbalance. But let us hear from, you heard the statement of Donald Trump. He said, I, under my watch. You can just take from here.
Okay. So this is from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Abuja. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Federal Republic of Nigeria confirms that Nigerian authorities remain engaged in structured security cooperation with international partners, including the United States of America, in addressing the persistent threat of terrorism and violent extremism. This has led to precision hits on terrorist targets in Nigeria by airstrikes in the northwest. In line with established international practice and bilateral understandings, this cooperation includes the exchange of intelligence, strategic coordination, and other forms of support consistent with international law, mutual respect for sovereignty, and shared commitments to regional and global security. Nigeria reiterates that all counter-terrorism efforts are guided by the primacy of protecting civilian lives, safeguarding national unity, and upholding the rights and dignity of all citizens, irrespective of faith or ethnicity. Terrorist violence in any form, whether directed at Christians, Muslims, or other communities, remains an affront to Nigeria's values and to international peace and security. The federal government continues to work closely with its partners through established diplomatic security channels to weaken terrorist networks, disrupt their financing and logistics, and prevent cross-border threats while strengthening Nigerians' own security institutions and intelligence capabilities. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs will continue to engage relevant partners and keep the public informed through appropriate official channels. And this was signed by Kimi Ebi Momotimi Ebienfa.
Cynthia, we've seen, this had to be the only sources that we can rely on. And we've seen from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we've seen from Donald J. Trump, and we've seen from the U.S. in Africa Command. So what all of this is telling us, it's telling us too many stories. Okay, first of all, Donald Trump has said he did this alone. That is what his statement is. At my order, at my command. And we have the Ministry of Foreign Affairs saying that, this didn't happen alone. It's an intelligence exchange. And I do not doubt our intelligence level in terms of the military. Our military prowess is there. We have the statistics. We fought wars for countries. Look at what we did in Benin Republic just recently. And I think that is why many Nigerians are always concerned. We are very swift to take actions in other countries. Then you come back home. I'm still trying to understand how we've had some of our military officers go into the U.S. to have some dialogues to talk about these same insecurity issues. And it's as though in the midst of all of this, we are hearing Donald Trump say, I've come out to strike. Why did we have to wait till he made that statement? We were able to do something in Benin Republic. Why didn't we fix the problem in Nigeria?
Okay, I remember when President Donald Trump came out and designated Nigeria a country of particular concern.
Yeah.
We were torn between, is it 2 or 3 sides? Some people were saying
it's wrong.
It's wrong. We're a sovereign nation. While others were saying it's good, let them come. and why some others were saying, let's form like a coalition. And we know we already have a coalition, which is AFRICOM, because AFRICOM is responsible rather for, taking care of the African continent as a whole. But then where do we live? Then I remember after that was when President Tinubu approved of, what's the defense minister, Christopher? Approved of Christopher to become defense minister. And the whole Nigeria approved of him as well. So I'm just asking, where do we leave him with this? Because the defense headquarters is coming out to say, yes, it's a joint launch attack. They approved of it. So are you people now saying the approved defense minister, the defense minister in Nigeria, all Nigerians approved of, even if not all, most Nigerians approved of, is not capable of leading an intelligence communication? Is that what we are asking? Then two, because I believe that we should understand that President Donald Trump is a polarizing figure, and I will never hold back my take on him with that, or my stance on him with that. He is a polarizing figure, and when we see announcements like this, it's like, okay, we know how we should be familiar with how President Donald Trump is and the way he frames matters. He didn't come out to speak as a diplomat. He didn't come out to speak as if it's a security brief. He spoke as if, he spoke as a political figure. He spoke as somebody, and I always say, sometimes I like his selfishness. Sometimes that selfishness, if we take it into deeper context, we see that it can be misleading and it can cause problems, small though sometimes. So using strong languages like this, or language, moral framing, I think I spoke about moral framing the other time when we talked about when he was trying to sue BBC for what according to him, said about him. So it's very, very important how we frame things. It's very important how, we know how political figure, especially a political figure like Donald Trump, when he comes out to say something, we know his stance. He's a one-man army. He is somebody that can come out. But when AFRICOM comes out to tell you that this is a launched attack, a launch strike rather, and this was approved, and the Nigerian defense headquarters sent the intelligence communication, then we should take it for what it is. So I do not think taking the President Donald Trump's words as, what he has said is what it is very correct, because we understand that there has been series of meetings being carried out since after he designated Nigeria country of particular concern, and Nigeria kept on denying, or should I say denying, Nigeria kept on defending that fact that it is not it is not about Christian genocide. It is more, everybody is being killed. People are being killed, citizens are being killed, human beings are being killed in Nigeria. So whether you're a Muslim, whether you're a Christian, a pagan, or anything, people are being killed in Nigeria. So we've seen that there have been series of meetings, being carried on. There have been series of committee being, formed and held, different coalitions and whatnot. Everybody have been aware of this issue. So we should understand that if something like this, if they come out to tell us that this is what happened, then it is what happened because there are committees responsible for this. And from my understanding, the Nigerian government and the US government and the Nigerian military and the US defense military have been working together. So I feel like, first of all, where I'll say that I like what has happened is that this strike was not carried out in isolation, meaning it is not just the US that just came out, to launch a strike, because that's where we will now come out and say, we are a sovereign nation, we are this, we are that. But then, it just kind of suggests that it was not a unilateral invasion, as I see here. It's more like everybody came together. It was a collective action, and not even a surprise military action. It's all parties were aware, and rumors have it that some other African countries are involved as well with the strike and the approval and whatnot. It means all hands are on deck. I think that's where we should be looking at it from. Not, we know President Donald Trump, he can be very controversial, and it's safe for me to say this because everybody knows that.
Okay, I think for now I'd like us to just read a number of comments from the citizens, since I have some comments with her as well.
Okay.
So a number of comments from the Nigerian people. And one of the things I see here is, in coordination with Nigerian authorities, that's the most important line for me. Please call us when you need to fight terrorists in your country too. We have the experience we can share. And you heard Cynthia rightly saying that I do not have any doubts in our military capability. We have all it takes. The only thing that may be lacking is not intelligence. It is the resources.
Yes.
It is the technicalities. And when I say technicalities, do we have the necessary facilities to ensure that we coordinate all of this?
Exactly.
That's all we need.
Exactly.
But if it's about the intelligence, oh my goodness, we have all of that. Short. Can we have more comments? We see that this person says the president could have acted decisively, could act decisively in Benin Republic, yet terrorists continue to operate freely at home until foreign powers allegedly intervene. That comparison alone is an indictment of Nigeria's leadership. There's a whole lot of comments that we would still like to take, and this one says the Christmas Day bombing by terrorists in Jos Plateau State in 2010. So this is finally a revenge for all of these things that happened in 2010. This is for what happened in 2011. This is for what happened in Borno State in 2015. This is for the 140 massacres, Nigerians who died during the Christmas Eve massacre in Plateau State in 2023. So this airstrike is for the singles life lost, whether it's Muslim, Christian, pagan, animist, whatever has been lost. And that's what people need to understand. Terrorists will not come and ask you, are you a Christian or a Muslim? The only thing is that oftentimes, as we've seen in recent times, they attack certain people. And so, let's say this area is more occupied by Christians. They attack them. So what do you want me to do if I'm a Christian? I'll believe that you're targeting me. But the problem is these people hurt people. These people kill many people. And what Nigerians just want is to see that, you know, this goes away. And I'll just take one more comment before Cynthia takes some of the comments. And this says, although we do not support any attempt to violate Nigeria's sovereignty, this does not stop us from supporting efforts to end terrorism and insurgency. If this attack was carried out with approval of the Nigerian government, then we are confident that innocent civilians will not be harmed. We also hope that these terrorists who are killing Nigerians will be brought to an end very soon. I think that's a prayer for all Nigerians. So you want to say something or take a comment?
Let me say something, because I want us to get something right as Nigerians here. You know, I think we are dragging ourselves, we as Nigerians, we are dragging ourselves as being, you know, a sovereign nation. Whatever happens in Nigeria, it doesn't take away the fact that we are a sovereign nation. And a sovereign nation has the right to protect itself from whatever, you know, infiltrations and whatnot.
The problem is that if you're a sovereign nation, do things like the sovereign nation. That's what people are saying.
And it doesn't leave a sovereign nation, I don't know how to explain it, to, you know, work in silos. You can work, you know, you can partner with other countries, whether it's for safety, it's not just for trade or whatnot. You can partner with other countries for safety and security.
Should it be those other people coming to meet you to tell you this is the problem?
I feel like the problem here is framing. A sovereign nation has the right to give people the kind of information they want, you know, because of the way they want people to represent them out there. So when, because I see that many of the drags are coming from the fact that the country, the president of this other country, of the US, announced this first before.
Why couldn't we handle
that?
That
is where sometimes the president of the US is not really acting as a, you know, should I say, is not really acting as a political figure, or should I say he's acting as a political figure, or how should I put it? Because as a sovereign nation has the right to come out and tell you what they want to tell you. It could be, and I'm looking at it from the positive part. It could be just to, you know, safeguard the people, just for the safety of the people. Because when we talk of safety, it's not guarding people only. Safety in the mind too, mentally, very important. Because if a news comes out now and they tell you that they are bombing somewhere close to you, you will be very, very destabilized. So the country, Nigeria, has the right to say, we do not want to release this news now. This is how we want to release this news. So framing matters here. When I mean framing really matters, because I think this is the uncomfortable part for most Nigerians. This talk about sovereignty, because many Nigerians feel like we cannot defend ourselves. We went to this place and we defended ourselves. We did this, we did that. But it's also, we have the right, to control our defense. We have the right to, put out what we want to put out, to how our information is communicated to the world. So I'm taking Donald Trump's own comments more like, he commented based on, I am a part of this. I am a lead in this. And we shouldn't take it out of context as him trying to shade. When you look at that message very well, you see that he's out for those bad guys. Yeah. He's saying, you people are not going to, how did he even, there's something he said about Christmas, Merry Christmas, but not to, you get, not,
Merry Christmas to the dead terrorists.
You get, so
and even more.
He's not all about, I'm fighting Nigeria. He's fighting for peace. He's looking for, so we shouldn't take his message as well out of context. That's where Nigerians are getting it right. I think that is what is sparking all of this, debate and drags and whatnot. Nigeria can partner, any other country can partner with anybody for anything, especially as a sovereign nation, and we should have, yes.
If I could come in here, remember when the Archbishop Bishop Wilfred started speaking out? The issue of insurgency didn't start today.
Yes.
Think back about insurgency. Yes. Think about the Chibok girls. Think about the bombing in Plateau. Think about the one in Yanya. Think about all of them. Think about the one in Kwara, the kidnapping in Kwara, the abduction in Niger State. You see how we as a nation come out to announce the stories. We almost leave as citizens to be at the mercy of the abductors, of the terrorists. And so they cry for help. Do you know that? Now, did you see the Nigerian government reach out to that pastor Wilfred, Archbishop Wilfred, to come talk about what was happening? The man went on social media and was crying every day. And he started crying last year. It's not even that he started today. Crying every day that they are killing his church members, killing people in the community. Sometimes he goes into the grave with the dead people. Now, what will a government do? You see that situation. They didn't call him, but guess who called him? They had a dialogue with him in US. They didn't have to fly him out. But this person is here with us in Nigeria. Why did we not have a conversation with him? And I think that is that place where we start wondering, where's the place of care? Where's the place of empathy? And the president may not know all of this, but there are people working with you. Every now and then, there are news stories of abductions, of kidnappings, of slaughtering of innocent lives, whether it's Christians or Muslims. And the citizens have been crying every now and then. See the ones that happened in November. Look at those school children that were abducted. We came out to hear that, 50 small children escaped. They were able to escape and not rescued by the Nigerian military. How? So we leave more questions in the hearts of the citizens than answers. And so when people are talking, they're speaking from a place of frustration too. They're speaking from a place of, we are helpless. So anywhere the help is coming, let it come. You're not going to tell a hungry man that the food was poisoned.
No, we should be cautious how we accept this help.
That's
be
the
very
problem.
Cautious.
Now, you see, that's the problem, because we didn't need to ask the US to come. They didn't, in short, I'm not sure we asked them. They saw the problem and gave in. And then we said, if we do not say yes, now it will look like we're not collaborating. That's what it looked like. Because all of this noise only happened when Trump started speaking. What were we doing before then? Why were we not taking decisive steps? I could go on and on, but time is no longer on our side. So I just want to conclude by saying that maybe we continue this conversation on Monday, because we'll see how things roll out. And we've seen some pictures from the site in Sokoto. We've seen how, the things have panned out. We are seeing, but as at now, we do not have a record of if there are any casualties, if any lives have been lost, because that's what people follow and subscribe for more informed conversations that go beyond the headlines. Cynthia, your final words before we leave.
You've said it.
Okay, so happy Boxing Day. Do well to share gifts. Do well to share gifts. You saw our Christmas video from My Dear TV.
Get mine from.
You saw our Christmas video from My Dear TV, so you can share gifts to your favorite people here too. But share gifts to your loved ones. Tell people, just make them feel special today. It's when we say Boxing Day. I know Nigerians already said Boxing Day or Bombing Day, but it's Boxing Day, please. Bombing terrorists, yes,
just
but
know
Boxing
how to.
Day. Boxing Day. Share gifts across and let love lead. Bye for now.